Hello everyone. Welcome to our Dexma webinar series. Today we're going to talk about hardware. We're focusing today on Datalogger essentials for metering and submetering. And I'm pleased to tell you that with me I have Alfonso Mateos, our resident hardware specialist at Dexma. So
Hi,
welcome
everyone.
Alfonso. Welcome.
Hi.
Hi. Good to be here with you. So here's the agenda for today. I'm going to start off by talking about what a data logger is, for those of you who don't know. I'm sure you all do, but just in case. Then I'm going to hand the floor over to Alfonso, who will go over what is Modbus. Then we're going to look at how the Dexgate 2, which is our data logger that we make here at Dexma, and we're going to see how it works in action. And then you'll have the chance to ask questions live to Alfonso, so make sure you have those prepared. There's a chat box that you'll see in your GoToWebinar panel that you can put questions to us, and we'll get to them at the end of the session. And also make sure you watch until the end because we have some special offers that we're excited to tell you about. Okay, so what the heck is a data logger anyways? The simple answer to that question is it's the internet guy in your metering gang. So this is what they look like. Here's a bunch of them that you can see. The Dexgate 2 is the second one to the right in the first row. So Dataloggers basically is a little device, a piece of hardware that captures data and sends it to the internet. It can do that in different ways. So HTTP, FTP, and email, SMS are some of the ways that we can do that with our platform, which is Dexel Energy Manager. You can see the screenshot here on the left. And there are two steps that you need to think about when you're defining your hardware strategy. So the first one is to figure out which hardware you actually need to measure the kind of sources that you want to measure. So whether it's water, whether it's gas, whether it's thermal, electricity, of course. So once you've got the hardware that you need, you have to figure out how the hardware and your software will communicate with each other. So that's what we're going to focus on right now. Defining that communication between hardware and software. So we can see here an ideal hardware and software data flow. On the left, we have our meters and probes. That's going to be the on-site communication part. So within our building, we've got them stuck all over and we know what we want to measure and we've got the hardware in place to measure it. You can see in the middle here, the data logger, the Dexgate 2, is the one that goes between the on-site and off-site communication. So the Dexgate 2 is talking to the servers, which then appears in the energy management platform, such as Dexel, and that lives in the cloud. So what are the benefits that you get when you use a data logger? Well, you save a lot of time gathering all that data together, and then you save a lot of money because Dexgate 2, as we told you, is on offer right now. We're going to tell you at the end of the session about a special offer. And you get flexibility. And Alfonso is now going to tell you a little bit more in detail about how that all works. If you have questions that you already have, here's the little chat box I was talking about earlier, and make sure you put them in there and we'll get to them at the end of the session. So, take it away, Alfonso, talking about Modbus. What is Modbus?
What is Modbus? Okay, I'm sure that most of you have heard about Modbus. Modbus is just a protocol. Okay, understand it like a language that enables different devices to communicate. Okay, so we have lots of protocols that can be used in Dexel. Okay, but we are focusing today in Modbus as it is one of the most used and the one that Dexgate 2 is available to read. Okay, so we are talking about what is Modbus. Modbus is a serial communication protocol. This means it's something like a language that communicates the gateway, that is the Modbus master, with the meters or probes, okay, that are the slaves. This is a master-slave model, okay. This is how the Modbus can be found. That is Modbus RTU that is on a physical wire that has to be passed over all the meters, and Modbus TCP that is more or less the same but uses the existing building network to communicate all these devices. Okay, we will see this in detail. What is Modbus RTU? Modbus RTU refers to Modbus in a bus, in an RS-45 bus. An RS-45 bus is just two wires, as you can see on the image. One is the positive and the other is the negative, plus ground that can also be wired, okay? And it just communicates the master or the gateway or the datalogger with all your meters or temperature probes, whatever that can talk into Modbus, okay? This is how it works. In an RS-485 bus, you have to set all the devices to run at the same speed or baud rate, okay? And all the devices have to have a unique Modbus address. All devices have to be set in a different Modbus address so that I know who I'm talking to, okay? So this is basically what Modbus RTU is. If we see it into devices, it would be something like this. It's the gateway on one side, on one end of the bus, and then the meters or different type of meters. Here you can see 2 kilowatts that are three-phase meters, but pulse meter that can read from water or gas, also temperature probes, whatever you want to connect to the bus, okay? And as you can see, all the bus is set to the same baud rate, okay? This is the baud rate. This is 9,600 bauds. That is a very typical one. And all the devices in the bus has to be set to the same baud. Then all the meters or probes has to have different address in Modbus, okay? These are the two keys of how Modbus works. There are also another concepts like parity, data bits, stop bits, but most of the devices are always set to the same defaults that are usually parity known, data bits 8, and stop bits 1. Just focus on these two key parameters that have to be set in a Modbus, okay? And what does Modbus RTU look like in a building? It's something like this. You have lots of meters that are placed in different rooms of your building. This is the same floor, but think that you can have one at the first floor and another on the second or fifth floor, okay? And you have to place a wire passing through the walls and floors and ceilings, okay? And connecting one by one all your meters to the gateway. Of course, if all the meters are more or less close one to each other, it is easy, but passing a wire over a building can be a headache, okay? So here is where Modbus TCP has sense. Modbus TCP is the same. It's like a Modbus RTU message, but that you can put in a wrapper and send it over the internet, okay, or over your Ethernet network in the building. Graphically, well, I've chosen these two images. Graphically, it's like Modbus RTU, but put into a TCP IP model and then sent over Ethernet. Think that your buildings do have this Ethernet wiring already. So if you can use it to communicate your meters, you will save time and money also, because you will not have to put that wire over the walls, okay? This is how it looks like. Is the Modbus RTU network on one side. Here you have Modbus TCP bridge or gateway that converts this RTU or this RS-485 bus into Ethernet. Okay, we see it in devices. This is the same that we've seen before, but here we have the gateway that is not connected to a local RS-485 bus, but to the Ethernet of the building, okay? And then I have two remote RS-485 buses, 1 and 2, okay? Look that they are all behind a Modbus bridge. This Modbus bridge that is on the network has its own IP. So what is Modbus TCP? It's like, I want to talk to this device, but I will not pass a wire from the gateway to the device. I will use the Ethernet network, place a point, to the IP of this bridge, and then once I am on this bridge, I will talk to the device 1, device 2 on the bus. Okay. This is Modbus TCP. You can have as many RS-485 buses as you want. Okay. And in fact, this a little concept that is, as they are different RS-485 buses, they can have same addresses on different buses. I mean, this is one bus. All the devices on the bus has to have different addresses. But if I have another bus, it's they can have the same address of the first one. Okay. Why? Because I will point to this IP and then the one, or this second IP and then the one. Okay. This is Modbus TCP. How this Modbus TCP looks like in a building? It's something like this. I don't have to pass a wire from the gateway to each of the meters, because I have, well, these red spots are network connections. Okay. So as all these meters can be connected to this bridge and to the Ethernet, or these single meters has also an Ethernet Modbus TCP connection, I use the Ethernet network of the building to communicate to the meters. Okay. This is how Modbus TCP looks like in a local area network. This means in one building, for example. Okay. But what if I have different buildings that can be in different places, but all these buildings are connected in the same network? This could be a VPN, a virtual private network. Okay. If I have this in my organization, what I can do is, using only one gateway, I can connect to all the meters that are connected to this VPN over different buildings or cities. Okay. So this is, of course, better in terms of placing wires, or have to pass these wires over the walls, because I have the existing wire Ethernet. Okay. So this is Modbus TCP. This is what Modbus is, but how can I work with Modbus? Now we are going to see Dexgate 2 in action. Okay. Dexgate 2 is a datalogger, a Modbus datalogger. And what can Dexgate 2 do? Look at this sample infrastructure that more or less is joining all the concepts we have talked about. This is the local RS-485 bus. These are some remote RS-485 buses connected through Modbus TCP. And we have also here some wireless devices that could be Zigbee from Fornox, for example. Can I connect all these together? Yes. And now today we are going to show you how to configure a Modbus gateway to read all the devices of your building. Okay. As you see, these Zigbee, these wireless devices, in fact, they are wireless, but this point is wired to the gateway. This is a Zigbee to RS-485 gateway. Okay, so think on gateway, that is a very used word, but it means different devices. Okay, so how to configure all these? Is this possible? Yes, it is possible, and it is easy. We will look at it. I've placed here a simpler installation because, well, I want to show you the difference between the configuration of Modbus RTU and Modbus TCP. We've talked about this, but also some problems that you usually find when you want to integrate all the devices in a building. For example, these two devices I've placed here, I don't know this manufacturer. I mean, it is a not very common device in the industry, so it may not be integrated into my gateway. Okay, so we will see how to integrate a new device or an strange device that has appeared on the industry. Okay. And there's also another problem, that is when how to configure devices that are not easy to configure. As you see, this, for example, has a screen, has some buttons. So what is the first thing I have to do to configure a Modbus network? Configure all the meters with the same baud rate in a bus and all the meters with different addresses. But if I have unknown buttons and no screen device, what should I do? What if my device is not integrated into my gateway? Okay, we will see both concepts. Create a custom device, okay? Create a custom device, sorry. And also how to write registers in a Modbus device to configure, for example, the address or the baud rate, okay? So, how to configure a custom device? Whoa, this starts to be so much techy, okay? Yes, it is, but you will find. So I just want to tell you that it is possible and not as difficult as it seems, okay? Imagine that I have a new device and I want to read just active energy, just to start with active energy, okay? This is a table that I have copied from a manual, from a device manual, okay? And it says, well, it is active energy, and the manual says that active energy is placed in an address, in a register, that is the 3C, okay? This is the instant one, that is the one I want to read, and it has these units that are watt hour. As you know, Dexel uses active energy in its service 402, but it uses kilowatt hour as units. So what do I have to do to create my custom device? First, point to the correct register. This is noted in hexadecimal numbers, okay? So I have to convert this 3C to decimal, that means 60, okay? So I have to read the register number 60, point it to our active energy service, and divide the units that were watt hour by 1000 to convert them to kilowatt hours, okay? And then the last concept, that is, wow, I have lots of different formats to read this register. Yes, I know that it is an integer, and I know it's 32 bits just because I know that all Modbus registers are 16 bits, and here we have two consecutive registers, so 16 and 16. It is a 32 bits integer. It seems difficult, but once you try to do it, you will see it is easier than it seems, okay? How to configure it in a Dexgate? Okay, you have a very easy to understand feature, that is the custom device, and you just have to place the number of the device. I've called it strength device, sorry. I've called it strength device, and point to the correct register, that is the 60. Just in the manual, you will see if you have to read an input or a holding device, holding register, okay? Place it to the correct Dexel service, that is the 402, and divide it by 1000, okay? I know this seems difficult. Well, maybe it is, but think that you have integrated a new device by your own and directly from your gateway. Okay, this is huge, and this can be done from your office also. So think that it could be something difficult, but we are giving to you this the easiest possible. Okay. The second concept, how to configure a non-screen device. Wow, another, again, this manual. Okay, I said you that you have to set the address and the baud rate of all devices. So here I can see the manual of this circuitor LM4I40, and the manual says that at the 3000 register in hexadecimal notation, I can change the peripheral number, that is the Modbus address, and put it from 1 to 255. Okay, I just want to set it to 3. Okay. Then it says also that in the 3001 in hexadecimal, I can change the baud rate from 960 to, okay. How to do this? We'll see it. First, we want to set it to a certain Modbus address and to a certain baud rate, okay? So we have to write in this register, that is the 3000 in hex is the 12,288 in decimal. We have to write in that register, and we want to write there the address we want to set. And then we will also configure the baud rate by writing 1 for 960 and 600, okay? So how to do that? With our Modbus read and write registers feature. What will we do? We will point to the, another thing is that by default our meter is set to the 98 address. So I want to change it. I will try to write to this 98 address, okay, that 98 device, and write the 3 in the register they want me to write. Okay, here I am saying, please device number 98, I want you to be the 3. How? Writing these 3 in this register as the manual says, okay? Once I've done this, I want to change the baud rate. Okay, what do I have to do? I want to write a 1 to set it to 9600, but I want to write it in the device number 3 because I have changed it. Before it was the 98, now it is the 3. So I write the correct baud rate at my device, and that's all. And for last, I want to check that everything has it's correct, okay? So what should I do? Read those 2 registers to see if the configuration has taken place correctly. So I will try to read, in this case, the device number 3, and read from this register to the next one, that are the 2 registers I am interested, okay? And I see that now my device has the address number 3 and has the baud rate set to 1, in this case that was 9600. This is difficult to understand the first time maybe, but this is something you have to learn if you want to configure your own gateway, all your devices, okay? And now, once I have all my devices configured, we start with the last part, that is configure all the Modbus in Dexgate 2. Now, as you see, we have our circuitor device with the correct address, and we have created a custom device for these strength devices. So what should I do? Okay, this is like the Modbus configuration in Dexgate 2 So the first concept you have to set is the baud rate. As I told you before, this is the baud rate of my local RS-485 bus, so it is 9600. That's the reason why I have changed my circuitor device to this baud rate, okay? So I set the baud rate here at speed, and then I have to configure all the Modbus addresses in the correct device line. For example, these two Carlo Gavazzi EM210 that are the 1 and the 2 will be configured like this at the Carlo Gavazzi EM210 by placing a 1 and then a 2. This means I want to read these two devices of the bus. Then the circuitor LM4I40 that we have set to the address 3 will be put in this line. And why not these wireless devices that, oh, they are wireless, don't worry about if they are wireless or not, they are Modbus. And as they are Modbus, they have also a Modbus address, so we can place it in the correct line. And what about the Modbus TCP devices? Okay, I told you before that we will try to point first to the IP of the bridge. So this is what I've done here. Here you have to configure all the remote TCP Modbus bridges. Okay, so I have just one, that is this MB1, and has this IP that I previously configured, okay? And once the Modbus bridge is configured, it is the same than before. Just put the addresses on the correct line. But previously, I have to tell the gateway that are behind this bridge. So what will I do? Just put the address, but before I have to place the bridge where I will find this device. So first, point to this Modbus bridge, that is the one. This means this is the IP of the bridge, and then once I am in the bridge, I want to read the device number 1 and the device number 2. And the same for our custom devices that are these 3 and 4. We have to create a new line for this custom device that is named strange device, okay? And just set their Modbus addresses and the Modbus bridge where these addresses have to be found. I think that if you look carefully to this configuration, it is easiest that it seems at the beginning. Okay, so I think Nicole is looking at the configuration, and I suppose she's thinking like, what? But if you have to set Modbus devices into a gateway, this is something you have to learn, and it is easier than it seems. Okay, so this is what I wanted to tell you regarding what Modbus is and how to configure it in a gateway. All these concepts have been explained for Dexgate 2, but it's the same for all Modbus gateways. I mean, baud rate, addresses, how to create new devices, or how to set your devices. It is something related to Modbus, so I think it's very interesting for you to learn about this. So maybe you have questions. Nicole, I think has...
I have questions. I'm writing my questions. I hope you guys are writing your questions.
So we will answer for your questions, and just something I want to show you also, that is, we've talked about the gateways. The gateways is the internet guy in the Modbus gang, okay? What about the internet? What about what the gateway really does? The gateway sends data to the EMS, to Dexel in this case. So I will show you how a gateway looks into Dexma. Okay. Sorry. Just I will show you. This is Dexel, as you know. Okay. Here we have different gateways, but I want to show you how Dexgate 2 looks into Dexel, because Dexgate 2 is a gateway that gathers all the data from your meters, but the most important, sends it to the platform. Okay, so as you know, you can access it through Dexel. Okay, you can access it remotely, and all the things we have been talking about are found in, this is the configuration of the Modbus. Here you have the baud rate, all the devices that are already integrated. Don't think that you will have to create a custom device for every device. No, you have lots of devices that are already integrated. So just think that you have lots of different features to create your device, your custom devices, or to test by reading your registers of your devices. So just think that the gateway is here to help you in how to send the data to your favorite EMS. Okay, and that's all. I don't know, we can start.
Maybe we can look at the information from the...
There is something I want to show you that is, wow, what's this? This is what I showed you before. That is the manual of this particular device, that is the LM4540. And here you see all the information you need to configure your device, because these registers in Modbus register in hexadecimal notation. Okay, you can read the pulse value of the first channel, the pulse value of the second channel. So here you can see where do I have to read, which is the correct register to read, okay, to create my custom device. But also here you have the information of how to set the peripheral number, or how to set the baud rate. And in fact, they also told you how to read or to write, because you have different type of different modes of reading registers and writing registers. They are telling you, hey, you can use the 4 and the 10 functions of the Modbus protocol, that in fact is this. You can read using the 4 and you can write using this 10. That is right, multiple registers. So just reading at the manual, we have all the information we need to set our devices and to create our custom devices also.
So save those manuals. Don't throw them in the garbage when you get your hardware like you do with other stuff.
Yeah, they're very,
they're
very
really important.
They're very important.
Okay, I hope you have some questions prepared. Just before we get to those, we want to talk about an offer that we have. Alfonso, do you want to tell us a little bit more about this offer?
Yeah, well, as you know, we have our online shop that is online.dexmatet.com, and you will find a 400 discount using this coupon, Spring 2017. Okay, and you can buy with this discount all Dexma, Socomec, Calabagazzi, and Fornox hardware. And well, it's up to you to buy as many of you want. Okay,
pretty good discount though.
Yeah,
you have to be a Dexma partner to take advantage of this offer, right, Alfonso?
Yeah.
So if you are not a Dexma partner yet, that's really easy. All you have to do is go to dexmatech.com, and on the top menu you'll see become a partner, and you just hit that button and get in touch with us, and we'll sign you up and you can take advantage of this great discount. Yay. So for the questions from the audience, now we're going to get to those. The first one, I want to take advantage and ask you, Alfonso, what would you say is the percentage of gateways that on the market that are Modbus? Are most of them Modbus? Are half of them? Like, what would
It's
you
a
say?
different question. I really don't have the correct answer for that question, but
In your experience.
Modbus is found in most of buildings. Maybe some other uses like physical metering is usually to find MBUS, for example, or some SCADAs also use BACnet, longer. Well, there are lots of protocols, but Modbus is one of the easier protocols, and it is really found in most of buildings. In fact, a lot of SCADAs that can work into BACnet, for example, has parts that are already working in Modbus, and they communicate one to each other. So I don't have the answer, but it is, I think, the most useful.
So it's probably the most common.
Yeah.
Okay. Eduardo really liked that meme, so congratulations on your meme game. What about how many Modbus addresses can be configured to Dexgate to? Do you know?
In fact, Modbus is limited in the same bus. It is limited to 247 devices. Okay, you cannot set. Yeah, that's a lot. You cannot set more than 247 different addresses in the same bus. So that's the theoretical limit. But as you know, you can have remote breaches with 247 more addresses. So wait, is this like it has no limit? Theoretically not, but we recommend you to use a gateway for as much as 450 devices, but not because it has a theoretical limit, but for the stabilization of the bus, because for maintenance and for if you have any problem, it's much better to have different gateways for different zones of your building. For example, if you have more than 50 devices or something like that, but you have not a theoretical limit to configure addresses. Okay.
So the sky's the limit. Going back to the VPN configuration that you showed us before, and you said that this is a really good setup if the buildings are farther apart. And the question is whether there's a limit to the distance that can the buildings be even in different cities?
Yeah. In fact, for example, think on an organization that has buildings in all the cities of a country, of even in the world. They are all connected. Okay, from the main quarters, they can access all the buildings in the world. So if all those buildings are connected in the same network, virtually you can connect to any meter that is on that network. Of course, if you want to have the less problems, think that if you lose internet, for example, you will lose the communication to that net. So think of Modbus TCP, that's something that is very useful, but having one gateway in a city and from there reading all the world is difficult, and if you lose the internet, for example, in one of your buildings, you will lose all the information. So it's recommended to install close gateways, but it is possible, of course. You can read whatever is in your network can be read using Modbus TCP. Okay, both have their good points and also their problems. Okay.
So you were talking a lot about Modbus this and Modbus that and Modbus everything, but what if I just don't have Modbus? I'm not working with Modbus at all. My meter is using a different protocol, but I still want to do energy management. I still want to work on energy efficiency. What are my options?
You have lots of options. Okay. Dexgate 2 is a Modbus data logger. You can, for example, use something like a converter that is from Modbus to BACnet, from Modbus to KNX, from Modbus to wherever. You can find different gateways in the market to convert between different protocols. But you can also, and I will go again to the, sorry, here. You can also use different gateways. As you know, Dexel is an agnostic hardware platform, so we have lots of gateways already integrated. And as you see at the same account, this is my my account. I have different gateways right now. I will show you some of them. For example, the Dexgate 2 or the previous our Loft's Dexgate. We have also this generic FTP. What is FTP?
What is FTP?
Yeah, it's like sharing files. If your building is using BACnet, for example, but your system, your BACnet system is able to send files, you can send your files to Dexel, okay? So the protocol is not always the most important, but the possibility to communicate, okay? So we have lots of different gateways and different ways to send data to Dexel. For example, this is another another gateway that is the Elbaco. This Elbaco is used, for example, to MBus. MBus is not Modbus, it's a different protocol, okay? So we have lots of different gateways that you can use if you have different protocols or different types of devices. Maybe some physical meters. This is, for example, from Circuitor, another Modbus gateway. Lots of gateways that can be registered into Dexel that they are talking different protocols, and they are more or less all do the same concept, that is gathering all your data from your building and sending it to Dexel. But of course they are different, talk different protocols. So if you don't have Modbus, don't worry, you have a solution, okay?
That's good to know. And so that's what you mean when you say Dexel is hardware agnostic or hardware neutral. It means you can work
yes,
with...
you can work with all the manufacturers we have already integrated, and we integrate new ones every day. So
if I don't see it here, I can still have
yes,
a chance to work with it.
Of course, you can ask us to integrate your own devices. So it is all regarding we want your data to go to Dexel, and if that device is not integrated, we can look how to read it. So don't worry if you don't have Modbus, MBus, or just ask us, and we will find the way to take that data and send it to Dexel, okay?
Well, that's good news. Well, there's always a way. So remember about the 40% discount for Dexma partners. Again, if you're not a partner, just head to dexmatech.com and you'll see the option to become a partner, and we'll get in touch with you and get that all sorted out. So thank you, Alfonso. I just want to remind everybody that's listening that we have another webinar coming up in our series on the 23rd of May. It's about demand response. And if you're interested in demand response and learning more about that and how energy managers can leverage the exciting innovation that comes with it, then sign up. Again, on our website, dexmatech.com, you'll find the form to sign up for that. Okay, and again, hardware neutral, hardware agnostic. It's amazing.
And growing.
And growing. So thank you so much, guys, for coming, and we are going to put this up on YouTube, so in case anyone who couldn't make it, then you can watch it there. And yeah, I think I want to thank Alfonso again, and thanks everybody who joined us for today. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.